Hello again, and welcome back to another episode of Aligned Identity. Today, I have a special guest, Matt McCoy, who is the host of the Sage and Cynical podcast. I had a fantastic conversation with him about health, mindset, some of the challenges that he has to go through as someone being overweight, and the struggles he deals with. We get into the depths of his psyche and how he approaches challenges and some of the issues that come along with our food and our Western diet. And we really have a good conversation. I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for all the support. Please continue to like, subscribe, and share this. Share this to your friends. Post it. Tell somebody. Send it to one person. All right. I appreciate you guys. Let's get into it. One thing that you were just kind of talking about was like you were really like picky about your podcast and stuff. I really obviously enjoyed your podcast. I thought that it was one of the most creative endeavors one of my friends has ever done.
Oh, well. Yeah, I'm not necessarily done with it. It's not working out. It's not a Delton thing. Well, Delton I don't want to talk about Delton too much as far as his personal life, but he got a new job. It's a super crazy opportunity.
Yeah.
But, like, he works all the time now. So getting together to do it would be rough. There's just obstacles. I might do something on my own.
Yeah.
And we never got that thing above, like, I think we got 8,000 views on one video. I think that's the highest we got, which, is a lot, but it's not a lot in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's still out there, but it's, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, you guys, what we were just talking about, like, you literally, like, saw every little thing of this podcast, the framing, all of it. Yeah. And you're so, like, so anal about that stuff. Oh, yeah. And it shows in your podcast. Like, you would have no clue that your podcast, it doesn't have those, like, those hundreds of thousands watching it. Because you literally put in the time to, like, have it, like, really fine-tuned. And especially when you guys revamp, man. Like, the revamp I thought was pretty dope, dude.
We switched to the camera. We switched a lot of stuff. Yeah, I mean, my attitude was, like, if we're going to try this, then, like, there's this attitude you see out there, which is just do it, which is, it makes sense to me.
Right.
But if you can do it better, just do it better. Like, I would read articles about podcasting and say, just fucking, can I swear or do you want to?
Oh, fucking swear all you want, man. Yeah.
Where it would just say, like, just record into your iPhone.
Yeah.
Just record into your iPhone. Nobody's going to listen or watch that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I get the idea to get somebody who has trouble starting to start, but it's like, create the brand, create the IP, get the logo made, figure out the studio, get the right equipment. It's not expensive anymore. It's not that expensive to do. I mean, a couple $1,000, which is expensive for some, but I mean, it's not, if you want to create a studio, like even this one 10 years ago, some of this equipment would have been thousands of dollars.
Right.
It just is
brand new off the shelf.
For my thing, let's start, let's have a good basis.
Yeah.
Where we have an idea, a good look, our technicals together. I've been into video editing and stuff for years, so it's like wasn't hard for me to know like where to start with it. And so that's why, I have a buddy who's an artist. And so yeah, and we haven't done it. I launched a thing about how we're going to make all these new episodes. We did like 4. We did 4.
Yeah.
And we stopped. But I just don't know when
oh, that damn. See, this is where you cut corners, man. This is the problem that you run into.
You just put some sandbags or something.
Yeah.
On
just giant ass sandbags.
Yeah.
Well, like
there we go.
This podcast, I mean, obviously I asked you, I was like, dude, what do you think? Because the amount of time I've realized, like, it's not stupid of me to research all these things, but it's also like naive to not just reach out and be like, hey, dude, like if I really like your podcast, why would I not ask you, hey, how did you get this set up? Right. And literally, I mean, the camera's the same, same lens.
Great camera.
Like obviously the rig setup is a little different, but like
just need a computer, so it doesn't really matter if you don't have the same.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't using a computer. I was using just a camera.
Yeah. And did you get that recorder? I looked at that, like, I think it was a Zoom recorder. It was like $200. That's what broke me.
No, because I didn't do XLR. I did USB.
Really?
That was something I would have changed if I started over, but I already purchased it. We had lapel mics, so I had USB lapels. This is a much more, if it was all the learning stuff. Like I had Blue Yeti mics, which are great by themselves, but terrible when it's two of them.
Yeah.
They pick up their condensers instead of dynamic mics, so they pick up all the sound, all the echo. Or this only picks up this.
Yeah.
Right. This big in front of it.
This right here.
But it means that you're not getting the bad noise around you. It means that these mics shouldn't be picking each other up, which was a huge disaster. I had the episode I did with Brandon when he came in was
the crab. What was the fucking crab punching her?
Oh, yeah, you stab it in the dick to kill a crab. That's a real thing. You actually stab it in his dick.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but it was unlistenable because the echo was so bad.
Did you have him there with you?
Yeah, he came in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, we had to use a separate. We used his iPhone for the video because we needed two angles, right?
Oh,
we couldn't fit all three of us into a single shot.
Yeah.
And I think we were still using our cell phone at that time.
Oh, really?
But, yeah.
Okay, so this is new, like for your podcast, Sage and Cynical, right?
Yeah, we call it a podcast. It's a completely dormant, unused thing. We got quite a few things on there, but we never. Me and Dalton didn't align enough to get the show where we wanted it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think a lot of it. I mean, we've talked about it, and obviously, I don't know Dalton well. I'm biased in this, maybe, but I think if you look at it, you did carry conversation, and I think you were, in every podcast, I think there's a host, right? Like,
yeah,
and you definitely played that, and I think
sure
it does require some, support in some times, and I get like maybe some of the topics you guys just. Maybe he doesn't have a big opinion on it, and that's some of the things that kind of sucks, I feel like, is when you're recording a podcast with, like, up-to-date news, up-to-date things. It's like, I don't have an opinion on it. Or
yeah, Dalton's, I mean, we're still friends, and there's not even a negative thought about not doing it. It's just Dalton cares about different things than I did. So the topics I would talk about, he knew nothing about.
Right.
And, like, the stuff he would want to talk about, I knew nothing about.
Yeah.
And, so it just ended up I can be forceful. So, like, it just ended up being me rambling 90% of the time.
Right.
And Dalton just going, oh, yeah. Which is, again, it's like Dalton was talking about doing a structured history podcast, which I think is right up his alley. Because that's a thing where Dalton would just be going, right? Where me, it's like religion and politics and social commentary and all that kind of stuff. I'll just talk forever.
Yeah.
And so, and plus getting together with kids and all that.
Oh, yeah.
It just didn't end up, and I think his new job probably make it so he could never come over and do it. So,
damn.
Yeah, I still own the IP.
Yeah.
Like I still have the domain, and we have everything. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I haven't had a desire to do a solo thing, really, because I don't even know what I would do.
Well, I think some of your elaborations on some of the videos and things like that I thought were hilarious, especially, the cop one. On the most recent ones were the ones that I are like fresh in my mind, but the cop one where that woman is like completely like ruined her situation, made R2D2 noises in the backseat. Did you see that comment that I put? It was like on the money. But my point is I think that I think you really could carry your own single podcast. I think you're intelligent. I think you're really I think you're very worldly in a way. I think your opinion is very valid. I think I don't know even you're politically. I would say you're probably moderate, right? Am I crazy to think that?
Left, but yeah.
Left moderate? I don't know. I feel like you have common sense. You know what I mean? Like, I think you have the common sense. And even in the Sage and Cynical, you would sometimes make fun of things that happen on the left. You know what I mean? Like, you're...
Oh, yeah.
And I think
I'm
that's
a liberal,
important.
not a leftist. There's a difference.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. See, and that's not me. I would love to have a podcast where we just talk about shit, but I would be Delton. I would be like, oh man, like I don't know where I lay on this. Sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's part of what I think happened. We'd be like, I'd go on a tangent for 20 minutes, and then I'd be like, hey Delton, you want to say what's a word?
Yeah.
And again, it's not because Delton's. I'm not even talking shit about Delton. It's not like he's stupid or
right.
It's just we didn't. The best stuff we ever did was what I originally envisioned the podcast is me and Delton just riffing about offensive humor constantly because that's what we're good at, and we're funny together. But that only holds itself there's only so many things you can say.
Yeah.
And so eventually you needed to do topics and stuff like that, and that's where it got. And I will naturally lean philosophical, political,
Yeah.
theological, like all that stuff. Doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, when I brought topics to the table, he didn't have much to say about them because this is not his bag.
Right.
And so it just, there was some push and pull there where we're trying to figure out how to get into a flow every week.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't know. I'll probably do something with it. I've been thinking about it, but I don't even know what.
Yeah. What have you been focusing on?
What, in life?
Yeah, in life, man. Has
Yeah.
it just been a lot of work? Obviously, you have a wife and kid, so I
Yeah.
mean that's got to be a big portion of it. But has there been any other passions that you've been focusing on?
No, because life is making me focus on it.
Yeah.
I need to. I mean, it's not lost. The irony isn't lost on me that your very first duo guest on your health and wellness podcast is a giant fat guy. So there's that. That needs to be my focus. Why are people?
Well, I wouldn't call myself a or like health and wellness. I would say self improvement, man. You know,
Okay.
like because I think a lot of things. I do talk sometimes about health and like ways to optimize it, but this is like what I really want to focus on. Like the duo podcast, I think is something that like I really enjoy. I enjoy talking to people.
Yeah.
And I certainly enjoy like having like the humanity of talking to someone. I can say like a lot of my content, I almost feel bad because it's like, oh, you should be like my sorry, dude.
No, I was just seeing. It's good.
My most recent podcast was literally about like going and getting it and like just pursue your passions, your goals, no matter what, and like you'll learn things along the way. I think it's how to like do hard things, and it was kind of brought to me based on the book I was reading. I don't know the author, but it's literally called Do Hard Things.
Yeah, I noticed when I was listening to that on the way over, and so I noticed that you didn't say the author.
Yeah, I'm bad about that.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, a lot of I will admit one thing is I want to improve is that like recall. I don't quite have it locked in. I've never been really the best speaker, and it's hilarious that I have a podcast that I speak into all the time.
Yeah.
But, and I noticed my lisp. Like when I hit the L's, or sorry, not L's, the S's, it kind of like whistles a little bit. But anyways, point is, a lot of the things I was talking about were like, just go after it, do this, do that. And
Yeah.
but it's not always that easy. And, you know, what you were kind of talking to me about, just like right now, what you brought up, you're like, I look at myself and I know where I am on this health and wellness podcast.
Right.
But like, what do you live like day to day, like feeling like? Do you feel like, what do you mean by that? Like you said that like and obviously like in the nicest way. I just felt like you said that like with a damper. It wasn't like, look at me, like obviously you don't have, what is it called? You don't believe in like fat positivity or whatever that is, you know. But
I'm very kind of anti-fat acceptance.
Yeah,
so.
Fat acceptance.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm for like fat. Like you don't get to come up on the street and like make fun of me. Obviously,
right.
You'll
Beat your ass. Yeah.
But at the same time, like I have the human decency to recognize that being overweight is bad for me.
Yeah.
There's a modern culture that says that whoever you are, no matter how bad it might be, it's actually good because YOLO or something. I don't get it. It's like being fat is unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
It makes life harder. It makes life shorter. It's bad. And the fat. Have you ever heard of fat girl flow? Just made me think of this.
God, no.
Are you aware of this person?
No, please.
So she did an article recently, or like a post where she's like, I can't wipe my own ass and I'm proud of it. So this is the extreme of fat acceptance.
Okay.
That when I talk about that stuff that I hate. Like, look, I have self-love, but self-love means that I recognize that I need to change. Self-love isn't going, I'm amazing the way I am no matter what. That's delusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that if I lost weight, I'd be happier. I know that if I lost weight, I'd be healthier. Those are just realities. I battle with eating stuff, obviously, but I'll never be able to sink in and say, that's just good. It's just who I am.
Yeah.
No, that's ridiculous. And like, we're at the point now where a doctor can get in trouble for telling his patient that they're fat. There's some of these stories, and you never know how many of these stories are just because part of the problem is also there's so many people trolling other people. You never know what you're seeing is true or not.
Right.
But yeah, the fat acceptance thing is weird.
Yeah.
I don't again, you don't get to be cruel to me.
Right.
And I won't be cruel to you for your looks.
Right.
You know, but it's yeah, but we got to stop pretending that
it's not
being
a problem.
overweight is okay. It's an epidemic.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Of which I've obviously, the only problem with epidemic is, or that term, is that it suggests that it's something happening to the person. Now, I think there's some truth to that.
Mm-hmm.
I think having nothing but empty calories and like fillers and all these sweeteners that are purposely addictive, and all this stuff is hurting. But at the end of the day, like you have to take responsibility for your eating. And so for me, like fat acceptance is the antithesis to growth. Because if I just say I'm fat and I accept it, then I'm saying that I am accepting a
optimal way to live
version of my life. Yeah, because I know that there's a better way of doing it. And I've gone up and down, and getting to work out hardcore. I mean, I've been really strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like I need to go back to the gym.
Yeah.
I always need to go back and do all that shit.
Sure. No, I agree with you on that. Everything that you just said about like taking acknowledgement of, you know, you want to be thinner, like you want to like be more healthy. And I will say I do genuinely think that there's an epidemic in the sense that our food is not healthy. Our Western diet is absolutely fucked, man. Like, it's absolutely unbelievable. Like, cereal, right? I grew up, I'm sure you grew up the same way. To me, Cocoa Crisp was healthy. That was, like, getting a valuable breakfast. That was important. And when you went to school, you would have Cocoa Pebbles. You would have all these cereals out there. But you think, like, I'm at school, it's probably supposed to be healthy for me, right? Or have that concept that these morning sugary breakfast cereals are supposed to be good for you, and they're absolutely not. And that's just a small example of, like, they get you programmed as a young child, right? A young child who thinks Cookie Crisp is, like, a good solution for their health, and it's clearly not. Every single food product that we have that is, like, in a grocery store in the middle aisle, like you ever hear about that, like the state of the outsides and stuff like that, all the processed food on the inside is just absolutely tearing people apart. And it's all down to like even how we're growing our food, all the pesticides, all the things. Like, I mean, it's terrifying. And I think that's where I feel for people who don't, where I feel like it's an uphill battle. It really is.
Sure.
It's not like my Spanish teacher, she had explained to me that when she lived in America, she gained 15 pounds in a matter of 3 months.
Oh, wow.
When she went back to Colombia, she immediately lost it.
Right, because
it wasn't changing anything other than.
Well, you go over and you just go to the bread aisle here, and there's probably like 15 grams of added fructose in it, where it's like, they add sugar to things that aren't even sweet. So it's solely because they're addictive.
Right.
That's why they're added.
Yeah.
It's very purposeful and intentional so that's why I say, like, with the epidemic thing, like, I'm totally willing to recognize that there are external forces that get Americans fat, keep them fat, myself included.
Yeah.
But that mentality of that's why I'm fat is a victim mentality that I'm not willing to entertain. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to change America from putting sugar in their food.
Right.
I have to take responsibility for myself.
Yeah.
This is a part of the problem why I criticize the left. They're very much systemic issues are the reason for all our problems. We will not take responsibility for ourselves, though, and fix them individually. So that's why it's like, yes, I get it. Like, it's harder. You have to be intentional. You have to go to the outside of the grocery store. You have to avoid all this food, even the stuff that society tells you is healthy.
Right.
These are problems systemically. But the only one who can change it for myself is myself.
Yeah,
and absolutely. So I would rather ignore any ideas that creep into my mind of like, this is somebody else's fault other than my own. Because those ideas will never solve my problem. Yeah. I have to take responsibility for my eating, and that's just what it is. You know?
I would encourage everyone to have that mindset. Because if you just default to like accepting your like in your reality or your, for instance, like I grew up in like a poor family, right?
Yeah.
And like my parents were drug addicted.
Oh,
Doesn't mean I'm going to
I
be
didn't know
under
that.
yeah. The
Yeah.
Shelley Weston podcast
You're
is a
like-
banger.
yeah, I didn't get. It was too quiet.
Too quiet. I know.
No,
Hopefully
I'll
this
have
is
to check
good.
it out.
But no. So essentially, my mom had told me that she started her crack addiction when I was 3 weeks old,
Damn.
and so I guess that is something that has always haunted her. She ended up going to prison. She had an arson
Oh, wow.
at her law office. And they still defended her in court because they knew how sick she was. Like, she was
Sure.
genuinely addicted.
Sure.
And so, like, when I was born, I remember moving up to Michigan, and I feel like from 0 to 3, you really don't know what's going on. Like, I don't really have memories. I feel I have energy. About 4 to, like, 7, I could remember what was going on a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was always around kind of, like, drugs growing up. Even my
okay.
dad,
Yeah.
he was more of a pothead, but
Yeah.
I would go over to houses where I shouldn't have
Barely
gone
a
over
drug.
to. And as I got older, I realized it wasn't just
Normal.
weed.
Right.
It wasn't
Okay,
just
okay,
it
yeah,
just
yeah.
wasn't a weed house. You know what I
Yeah, yeah.
mean? But I say that it's because you don't have to default to, oh, this is how my dad lives, this is how I'm gonna live.
Right.
And you don't take on that victim mentality. Almost it puts a chip on your shoulder, like, hey, like I know the food industry is against me. I know this shit's against me, but like I take responsibility for that.
Sure.
And
well, I don't. I take responsibility for my action within it.
right, yeah, that's
I can't
what
take
I'm referring to.
responsibility for what other people are doing, but it's like,
Right.
It's like blaming them, even if it is their fault, doesn't actually help my problem.
No, it doesn't. It just. What is
Yeah.
that? How does that supposed to make you feel? Like,
Right.
oh, I guess I'm just down. I mean, 2
Yeah.
steps below everyone else, huh?
Yep.
Like, yeah, I completely agree, and I think that's a mindset people should adapt to. Is like, you really do get to control your future. You get to control your health for the most part.
Right,
Right.
right.
Like some people are deemed. I mean, not deemed, but
Deemed.
they get bad illnesses, or
Right.
they were
Sure,
given
you get a bad hand. It's just there's no way.
right.
Yeah.
But
But for most of us, it's our own fault that we're unhealthy, unhappy, unsuccessful. We
Yeah.
just don't take The problem is as our society gets more comfortable.
Yeah.
Which is good. That's a good metric.
right.
200 years ago, you'd be like fighting lions. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's not like, but there's a piece of us that is lost that is designed to fight lions. And so the more comfortable we get and the more we stay away from hard things, the easier it is to continue to do that, and the more it's not fulfilling.
Yeah.
We're designed to be working and fearing and fighting. Unfortunately, that's who we are.
Yeah.
And so you have to artificially supplement some of that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, because it's like you can spend your entire life in America and never do anything. Just go to work and play video games.
Those my parents.
Nothing fights you. Like
Yeah.
you're not fighting anybody for anything. You don't have to do anything hard.
Yeah.
And some people just never get themselves out of that because I think it's the understanding that artificially doing things that you don't have to do that are hard is actually beneficial for your mentality and for your life.
Yeah.
It's weird. It used to be that's what was life. Like you got up and you survived. You're like, yay, but it wasn't your choice.
Right.
Now it has to be.
Yeah.
Because I think people that like avoid anything hard and just try to stay comfortable their whole life, they're just not fulfilled. They can,
Absolutely.
they can say. I actually would have trouble believing somebody told me they're completely fulfilled.
Yeah.
By like staring at the TV and sitting on the couch and getting drunk or something, and that's their whole life.
Right. And going to work, right? Like they go to work, and I feel like it's difficult for me because like I was in that mindset, and I think a lot of people can be in that mindset. It's like you go home, or I mean, you wake up like half hour before work.
Yeah.
You go to work, you come home, you eat shitty food, you drink shitty beer, you like are brutal to your body, and then you spend all that other time playing video games, which I know I have an addiction to. Like it's plain and simple.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna play Shrouded as soon as I get home.
Yeah, right.
Sweet.
But like in Netflix and all these things,
Right.
and like I've lived that mindset my entire life because in a way that was all I saw, and that's not an excuse. I mean, I did have sports like in school and stuff like that
Yeah.
that took some positive things, and I think that's probably why I was able to stay healthy for most of my life.
Yeah, I played
But
basketball.
but after high school,
Yeah.
it's like you forget the
You don't
structure.
have the things forcing you. Again,
Right, yeah.
It's that same thing where you have to self-enforce difficult things.
Yeah.
Right? It's easy to not do it. And so that I think that's part of why depression is so high.
Yeah.
But it's like there's some reality to the fact that like lazy, depressed people that like don't do anything or try to make any changes acting like
and only give excuses
right
for why they can't do these things.
Right. There's a reason they're unhappy and it's their fault.
Yeah.
And we have this is where me and the left really start to depart, which is like I still believe in self-responsibility, individual freedoms.
Yeah.
And like it's also not a judgment, like you can feel however you want. I personally am going to take responsibility. I'm a fat piece of shit. That's what I'm going to say about it. Too bad if you don't like me saying that, right? Like that's how I internalize my own self-love. Because to say, you know what, I'm great the way I am and I shouldn't change for any reason, again, it's not aligned with reality. Like, that's ridiculous. It's like, you're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And putting this veneer of, like, Yas Queen YOLO fucking bullshit where everything sucks about you, but you're amazing just because of who you are, that's a 4-year-old's opinion.
Yeah.
That's what you tell a child, right? And so, I don't know. I'm hard on myself, but to
Obviously.
me that's good because like I might die fat, but I won't die quit. I will not have ever stopped trying, and I'd rather do that than be like accepting of it.
Well, I think one thing for me, man, is like I would love nothing more for you to be able to die
Fucking
doing
shredded.
Yeah, man, yoked. I mean, one thing that I've been like thinking about.
I would die a flying squirrel, but
my thing is like I think it's cliche to say, but it's like live with no regrets, whatever, right? Like in a way, YOLO, right? But
yeah, if you have no regrets, then you've done nothing in life.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like I started this podcast because I've always like wondered, oh man, it would be cool to start a podcast, whatever. Sure. And this podcast is like I'm learning other things. It's not easy to dedicate the time to do it. No. It's not easy to fucking edit for 2 hours or whatever it is.
It'll get easier, but yeah.
Yeah, my point is though is like I feel like I'm kind of speaking to you here. It's like, dude, like let's fucking own it. Like what my next thing is like what are the steps that you think it is to get you to like where you want to be? Like to where you have that self-love of like instead of saying I'm a fat piece of shit, like you should never feel that way, man. That and I know we're our hardest critics. We are our own hardest critics. But it fucking pains me that that's what you think of yourself because I literally
but that again, this is what I'm like that it's a form of self-love. It's a form of admitting that where I'm at is not where I should be and that I'm better than where I'm at. Saying that I'm amazing the way I am. I mean, I can tell you that I'm a good father and a good husband and a decent salesman and that I'm good at my job and
good
that
friends.
I'm a good mini painter. I'm a good friend. I'm intelligent. I can speak. Like all those things are true.
Yeah.
So there we can go there. But that's what I'm saying, that the need for positivity. I've never had the need to be positive. It's so weird to me. Like I hate inspirational quotes.
Like live, laugh, love, bro.
I just have never found like the need to have constant positivity in my life to be happy.
Yeah.
To me, that a lot of that seems hollow. I'd rather just see reality, and it's like in my weight loss and just health, I'm absolutely and utterly failing. That's okay because I'm not dead yet, right? I'm a fat piece of shit means like that I still have work to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean like that I hate myself.
Okay.
It's I love myself with caveats.
Yeah.
Right. And to me, that's like our modern culture. It seems like you need to be accepted for everything you are, no matter how good or bad it is. And I just think that's goofy. Yeah. That's why the whole fat. Is it fat acceptance or like body positivity. You know,
Yeah.
there's these terms for it. That how could you disagree with body positivity? It's
Well,
because it tells a 400-pound person that they're great the way they are, even though they're going to die in their 50s or their 40s.
well, the only thing I'd say to that is that I think, and what's hilarious is like people would be surprised. Me and you like that?
Yeah, tasty.
Yeah, dude, tasty.
Better
Hopefully,
the label out.
yeah, I know, right? Shout out Chris Williamson, but ooh, gonna knock my microphone.
Yeah,
Just
you
gonna
need
eat it.
sandbags, I'm telling you.
Yeah. But what I was saying was like I think that body positivity also falls in the category of like you shouldn't be comparing yourself to other people. I think
Sure.
like when you look at Chris Evans, even though I'm going to the gym 6 days a week, I'm not taking the products that he would be taking. I'm not in the
Sure.
same Hollywood regimen. I can't look at him or Chris Hemsworth and be like, that's going to be me because my genetics are completely different and things along those lines. I think
there's some steroids involved too. But
absolutely, that's what I
Like,
meant.
that's
Products.
the-
I didn't want to. I didn't want to
okay,
like you know because
okay.
I don't think they've ever came out and admitted.
yeah,
Obviously,
but
like
Hollywood. I mean, you don't get
Right.
Those dudes get jacked like that in 6 weeks, and you're like, oh, okay, well,
right.
it's like Rocky
I'm just
4.
saying like I think part of it is like you gotta. I'm okay with the body I have.
Sure.
I think that's the thing of body positivity is
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna compare myself to Chris Hemsworth.
Sure.
I think he has a great body, and there was a saying that someone said it was like, you know, you need to look at people with like shredded bodies as a piece of art. That's their body. Like that's
Sure.
unique to them in a way. And that's kind of how my mindset has been cuz
Yeah.
otherwise, dude, you'd be surprised. One of my best friends, you'll meet him today, Webster, man. We talk about this, but it's like we go to the gym all the time and like we eat well, we do our things. You know, I fuck off. I'll eat pizza. If I
Yeah,
take an edible or something like that, we'll order Domino's and I'll crush, right? But I would say 90% completely dedicated to my diet, focus, everything.
Yeah.
And you still like, even though I lost weight and like I've gained muscle, all this stuff, I still like have body dysmorphia in a way.
Oh, okay.
When I say that, it's like I'll go in the mirror and like I'll look at my stomach and I'm like, damn, dude, I go to the gym 6 days a week and I can't get a six pack. You know, like you
Right.
always have that mindset of like,
Sure.
I could always be better. I could always optimize. And in a way is maybe motivation for going to the gym and shit. But that's where I feel like I should not be, in the nicest way, I shouldn't be having like that kind of feeling to myself. That's where I think body positivity can be positive, where it's like, dude, like, yeah, you don't have a six pack. That's completely fine. You know, you're
Yeah.
healthy overall. I
Well,
think
sure.
even girls who like the thigh gap, I know that
Right.
was a big thing.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
girls
That's
with
funny.
thigh, you know, and that's not necessarily even deemed healthy if you're that skinny.
Yeah,
where you,
I don't even
you know,
get the why.
I know.
Okay.
I think that was a woman. I think that was a like woman's like
I
women
don't-
sold that to women kind of thing. Because
Yeah.
I've always liked
It's
thicker
just
girls. So
fine. I've never like, oh, she's hot, except I wish there was a gap in her thighs. Like,
right.
I
I
never
know.
even think like this.
I
don't
know.
even know what that was. Yeah, the thigh gap's weird.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, and I don't know where this all stemmed from, but I think that's a good point of like body positivity is like you can't be like overly critical of yourself.
Sure, but those that are, right, like, so the six pack. So if you're not happy not having a six pack, that's fine. Go get a fucking six pack.
yeah, that's the
Without
goal.
without the
Right.
thought that you want more,
Mm-hmm.
then you're not going to have more. People
Yeah.
that are successful at things they want those things. And to me, wanting something that you don't have isn't a negative,
I agree with
right?
that.
It's
Yeah,
how much you beat yourself up. I mean, I don't know.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. The
I'm
positivity
I'm
part.
a uniquely negative weird guy in the sense that, like,
Right.
in the sense that, like, I really have I've never needed like to love myself. That sounds so weird. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like I am who I am. I'm happy with these things. I'm not happy with these things. I'm totally willing to confront those things that I'm not happy with, and needing to push them aside to be happy has never been something I need.
With that statement, I'm curious. Like, do you get more satisfaction from like your wife loving you, like, and your friends loving you? Like, is that like a good metric for you to realize, like, yeah, like because what you were just saying, like, you've never like been like, oh, I'm a cool guy, like I'm like I love
Well,
myself, or are you just saying like,
see, that's the thing. I require myself to love myself, but it's not. maybe I'm just describing this wrong. Like,
And
obviously, everybody wants the people around them to love them.
yeah,
Those who say no are lying.
you're right.
My thing is, I can face the reality of myself without needing to prop myself up. So, I can simultaneously like who I am
Yeah.
and know that I'm a complete failure in some area, and then I need to work towards that and fully embrace it, admit that flaw is there.
Okay.
As opposed to let's say the Facebookification of a lot of things where it's you just see feeds and feeds of somebody's best day.
Yeah.
Like I'm totally willing having my feed have all the shitty things in there too.
Gotcha.
And so like a lot of people need positivity, quote unquote, which means ignoring anything bad, pretending everything's amazing, that you're never going to do anything that's bad. Where I'm totally fine being happy, but also acknowledging like, yeah, I'm fucking worthless on this thing.
So a little bit of negativity turns into like motivation in a way. Gotcha.
Yeah, like if I need to go, if I'm like squatting,
right,
and I'm going to do another rep, I'm not like, you can do it, buddy, you're so awesome. I'm like, you're not going to do this, you're a piece of shit. And I go, oh yeah?
yeah.
Like,
Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah, and so, but everyone has their different, some people require the super positive stuff to better themselves. I just have always found it.
No, I think you're absolutely right in that metric. Come back to you a little bit. When you were back on, you started the podcast back up. Yeah. One of the segments is going to be like the scale. You were always going to like every week and stuff
we never
like that.
did. Well, yeah, we never did it.
We'll talk. Well, I know you never did it, but did you ever like? Did you go to a doctor? What?
Yeah. No, I went through a weight loss thing. My problem is I have a literal mental disorder, which is called I eat too much because I'm fat. So I need something to discipline that out of me. Yeah. Going to the doctor was fine. What I need is a behaviorist, and that's what I'm looking for now. I don't need someone to tell me my diet. I know how to lose weight. Right? Yeah. I know those things. I need monitoring. I almost need to be like, you ever seen those like where the discipline for kids where it's like illegal in most states where like they capture the kid and they put them. I need someone to come in and capture me and make me stop eating. What that really needs is I need like therapy. I need to go to some sort of behaviorist because I have compulsive eating issues. That's really at the end of the day, like I'll be eating and then I'll come unconscious that I was standing. Oh, I've been eating for 10 minutes. I didn't know it. I just didn't know. And so the approach, the doctor thing, it's not. I need to go to a behaviorist. I don't need a nutrition plan in the sense that like I have been in and out of weight loss for so long that I'm near an expert on it. Yeah. I know that sounds goofy, but it's like I know how to control my macros. I understand what I need. I understand my grams of protein per pound of body weight compared to whether I'm trying to lose weight while maintaining lean muscle mass. I've done this on and off for so long that I could put together a really solid 2,000 calorie a day eating plan. What I need is whatever that thing is that keeps me eating when I shouldn't, that needs to be worked on, which is therapy. Yeah. And so like I kind of went to a couple of those doctor appointments and it was just like, here's a nutrition plan. Do you want to buy OptiFast? And then you can talk to a behaviorist like once a month. And I was like, what I really need is a therapy session. I need to go to somebody every week. Yeah. That's probably what needs to happen because like when I was a teenager, my parents tried to stop me. They would lock the refrigerator at night.
Really?
Yeah. And I would pick the lock and I'd get in and eat. So there's a serious thing there, right? Like, so.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so it's not from their lack of trying, but I just have whatever. It's, people get addicted to drugs. There's like anybody can become addicted to drugs, but I think there's a personality trait in people who get addicted to drugs that makes them more likely.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
And I think I have that for food.
But the
one thing I can't quit forever. Yeah. Right. The one is like if you're an alcoholic, you quit alcohol. Yeah. If you're a food addict, you don't quit food because you can't. And so it's like,
man, and that's a necessity. It's not like
that's what I mean.
It's not like Coke is a necessity. I'm not dying because I'm not having Coke, but literally you have to have food.
Right. And so, like, I've been starting to look up therapists and try to figure out how that works with my insurance and all that stuff. But so yeah, with the podcast thing, the podcast thing went separate ways sort of. So that never happened.
Yeah.
But also, like, the program I ended up going into, I was just like, this isn't really what I need. I need literal, like, the behaviorist is the only aspect of it. I said, okay, that's what I need.
Yeah.
I need literal therapy to deal with whatever the illness is, whatever you would call the eating disorder. Because when you're my weight, you have an eating disorder. There's no doubt. Like, I eat enough to maintain. I'm like 380 pounds right now.
Okay.
I'm not maintaining that weight while I'm eating, like, the right amount of food. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's another
it's
part
not a
of
2,000 calorie diet kind of thing.
That's the other part I hate about the body positivity shit. It's like, yeah, you're just eating too much food. Just admit you're eating too much food, and that's why you're fat.
Yeah.
Fucking all this other shit.
Yeah.
And so, but why am I eating too much food? Okay, so there's a mental thing, there's unconscious eating, there's night eating, there's stress eating, there's all these different forms of eating.
Yeah.
And so I need to deal with it from a psychological standpoint. And so that's why, like I said, that's why the podcast thing never went, because that was separate. The podcast sort of stopped.
Right.
But the weight loss program was not.
It was more Weight Watchers rather than.
Yeah, it was like, for people, I feel like weight programs in this country are a lot like, and this is true for some people. Some people just don't know how to do nutrition. They don't understand what's bad for them. They've been raised by people that didn't know nutrition, and so they just thought chicken nuggets were fine.
Right. And that was their only diet.
Fine. And that this weight loss program might work for someone like that.
Yeah.
I am hyper educated onto this stuff because I've tried to lose weight for so many years, for so long, that, like, I could probably be a nutritionist. And that sounds crazy, but, like, genuinely, I've done enough research into this stuff. I just can't implement it in my own life for very long.
Yeah.
Which, again, requires some form of, I think, therapy. Like, I think that's literally what it requires.
Yeah. Damn, man. No, I didn't know. So has that been something that's, I mean, if your parents were locking up the fridge, I don't mean to, like, pry too much, but, like, what was that childhood like?
Oh.
Did you, like, get into sports? Like, what was that kind of like?
I mean, I played soccer, baseball, basketball, never football, even though they always wanted me to play football.
Yeah.
I started gaining weight at 8 years old, I think. That's when I started becoming more overweight.
Like, would you say you were, like, would you quantify yourself as, like, a fat kid or no? Or just, like, a little...
I became more, I mean, it was a little chubby at 8, and then I was bigger. Yeah, by my teens, I was probably a fat kid.
Yeah. And then your parents' response was just...
They tried to get me to eat less.
Yeah. But that's...
To the point where they tried to lock up the fridge. But again, you can't stop somebody who is hell-bent on doing something.
Right.
And so I was fucking picking a lock. I learned how to pick a lock.
My boy was desperate for some
I don't
fucking
blame
food.
them at all. They can't, like, stop me.
Yeah.
If I want something, I can't be stopped.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know. Again, what I've realized in my old age, because I'm so aside. I was listening to the episode 3. You're 26.
I'm 25 right now.
You little kid. I'm 40. Anyway,
you're young to me.
I didn't know you were.
I've always had,
you know,
Brandon.
In your 30s or something.
No, you know Brandon. He's my older brother. He's my best friend. So I've just always been around older people. Man. It's always just been my vibe.
No, you're good. No, that's relevant. I was just thinking. I was like, oh, I thought you were like 31, but that doesn't mean anything.
Damn, I look old. No, I'm kidding.
What was I saying even?
No, you're saying, like, if there's something that you want, you're gonna get it.
Oh yeah, so I don't blame them for me gaining the weight. I just, now that I'm at this age, I'm recognizing that, like, it's mental.
Yeah.
That's what needs to change. None of the eating habits, none of the eating habits, like, that all has to follow the mental change. Yeah. And so that's what I've been looking into. Maybe I'll spend some time actually looking up therapists tomorrow. But that's what I need to do, because it's like, I'm not going to be able to self-heal this. I need some sort of, I think it's another thing I've constantly always tried to get myself to lose weight. And now I'm finally at the point where I'm like, because of my desire to be independent and my inclination to take all the responsibility on my own shoulders, like, I'm like, I can solve this by myself.
You don't need help.
Yeah, but I think that we're at the point where it's like, okay, I recognize it. I have a mental illness that makes me eat. This needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
So a behavioral clinicians, something like that will be probably what's required.
Yeah. One thing that I'll kind of ask, just like, because discipline, like for me, has been kind of your environment too. Like, if you notice, like in my cabinets, you're not gonna find anything good, like in the nicest way. There's no like good food that I can just crush, right? No Oreos, no nothing that's just gonna be quick, easy hit.
Sure.
Everything I literally have to make. If I want eggs, I have to make them. Like all that shit.
Yeah.
In your house, do you try to like keep those kind of foods out of the house? Or
well, Megan eats Oreos and stuff. I don't have a sweet tooth, so those things are almost never a problem for me.
What's your vice?
My problem is that I eat a lot of healthy food. That's my problem. My problem is amount eating, right? Yeah. So like, I'm a big cook. You say you got to make eggs, cool. I'll make a fucking omelet like you won't believe. Like my thing is like, I have a steak and a sweet potato. Or this or that, and I'll just have 10 pounds of it instead of the amount I should have. That's really my thing. It's not necessarily that my eating is like I don't go.
You're not eating shit necessarily, but it's just the amount of the
stuff. Right. It doesn't mean I'm only eating chicken breasts. It's not the case. But like,
shit.
I've eaten a 64-ounce steak I think before. Some insane.
Dude, that sounds like a good time.
There's like gigantic. Like amounts, you know,
just the whole plate of a steak, pretty much.
Just a cow,
just a whole cow.
But my thing is not it's quantity as more than it is like. My sister was a vegetarian forever, so I've had a bunch of really good vegetarian food. Yeah, and I'll just eat way too much of it. It's amount. It's more than sure I'll eat. Like I had pizza last night, which isn't good for me, right? But I didn't, But it's like, it's not that I'm tempted. Yeah, I can't have like sesame sticks in the house. We can't have easy to grab like peanut butter.
Oh, dude.
That's just gotta go. Because that shit is like so high cal per spoon.
Anyone who knows me. Yeah. Like, all of my friends, like, he had a wedding party, bachelor party. Literally, they were making fun of me because the first thing I brought with me was a thing of Jif peanut butter because I will fucking crush that thing.
To a bachelor party?
Yeah, dude, because I knew we were going to, like, be drinking and taking some things, and I was like, dude, I know when I get munchies, peanut butter is it. I will crush that whole thing. But that's so funny you say like
10,000 calories.
Oh, dude, the entire jar. I've literally tried to justify it in my head, but it's like 1,200 calories if I eat the whole jar.
And that's it? I'm actually surprised that's it.
Well, so I think I'm relating it to this Justin's. I bought Justin's peanut butter. It's only $1.90. I think you're right. I think Jif is like
tiny peanut. It's insane.
Yeah. It is a lot. No, you're exactly right. And I would always justify it. Well, there's some protein in there. I know, but,
no doubt, but
when you crush 3,000 calories in a peanut butter, no, that's good. I'm glad you recognize that.
Maybe if you're Eddie Hall, that's all right. But fucking, there's a point where you're, and we can justify. I'll justify stuff all the time. Like, I worked out today. I can eat 16 pounds of steak.
Get the gains, man. Yeah.
When
you were talking about it, how often would you say you go to the gym?
Now, none. Never.
Can I go with you?
Like in the last few weeks? Never. But I need to get back on. The last time I did, it was like 3 or 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking about going to Planet Fitness just because it's cheap and it's close.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I need to not get into. There's the online like biohack culture has some problems with it, I think. So it's like I've found myself like worrying about like protein macros, and I'm like, dude, I look like fucking Jabba the Hutt. Like, why do I like? There's a point where it's like, hey man, you gotta get this many reps, and the temperature has to be this when you sleep, and all this stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like, eat less calories.
Yeah,
right. And so like I found myself like getting wrapped up in all this like I don't know, where you're trying to min-max everything, but you haven't even achieved the original thing.
Yeah.
Like if you just eat less calories, yay, then the thing will start happening.
No, that's very important. I think a lot of people get caught up in those details, myself included. Like, I remember, like, and that's an excuse you kind of make in your head of like,
well, I can't do this because it's 69 degrees out right now, or some whatever the thing, the optimal fat burning temperature.
No, I hear you.
I can't. Once I move to Hawaii, then I will get started.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
lifting weights because I can't get 200 grams of protein a day, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely. I think that is a good thing and a bad thing with the
Well,
biohack community. It's cool
you-
to have that
You got to
information,
get there.
but you got to start.
Right. You can't be like, I sit on the couch, I play video games, I eat Twinkies, I don't do anything. I need to have the regiment,
Yeah.
that this crazy bodybuilder. It's like, no, you just like walk around your house once.
Right,
You don't do
right.
anything. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's easy to get involved. It's
What-
easy to get in those details. And those details are themselves a distraction that keep you from actually doing the thing.
So is that what holds you back from like going to the gym consistently? What would you say it is?
Now it's always changing. It is. I don't have many excuses in my head. I just don't feel like doing it because I want to play a video game and not do something.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's not. Yeah, I'm slowly working on it. Like I know there are some things that are actually important in the details. Like I need to make sure I have a regiment set before I go.
Yeah.
Because I can't just go there and push that, pull this. Like I need to know. Okay,
Absolutely.
So we're gonna have like chest day, back. So
Yeah.
Like so, I need to get that on paper before I go because that's a thing where it is stupid to just go to the gym and have no plan.
No, it's not. Because
Right.
that's something you're creating in your head. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's and I agree with you. Like it
Yeah.
is fantastic to have that regimen, but it's like one of those things that's holding you back from actually going.
Well,
if you just
yeah,
went
yeah.
and actually just got on a treadmill, did
Well,
anything,
sure.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
cardio.
Like,
I'm talking about lifting, but yeah.
Fair enough.
Cardio, yeah, absolutely.
well, even with lifting, like if you just start I mean, you would be surprised how many like people who just do full body every day,
Right.
like, and they look great. You know what I mean?
Right.
They just will
Well,
literally.
what is
I'll
that,
see
the
him
5 by-
benching. Next
Yeah.
thing I'll see him squatting. See him do everything in the entire gym, and I'm like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
But they look fine. You know what I mean?
I did the 5x5 for a while. Where it's all just squats, deadlift, overhead press, bent over, barbell row.
Perfect.
Just the compound movements.
Yeah.
Because then you can activate the micro muscles with from the balance that you don't get from
Wow.
the machines. I'm telling you, dude.
All the
I've been-
yeah, he knows
I've
this
been in
shit.
this shit for so long. I just don't. I'm like a fan of it, not
Yeah.
an implementer.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. Like it's goofy, but like, yeah. I mean, I had a weight rack. For like squats and deadlift and all that shit. I was borrowing it off a buddy. I gave it back.
Sure.
But like, I need to go. Yeah, I just need to go. Right,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, I definitely need to not let a regimen hold me back. But at least, like,
Because you know the shit.
The reality is, it takes 10 minutes to build that regimen.
Absolutely.
You just say, okay, I'm going to do legs on this day. I'm going to do chest on this day. I'm going to do whatever. Like, those are going to be the thing. There's going to be cardio in them. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing I never need to work on ever is calves.
Yeah.
My calves are.
You're gonna have the sexiest calves ever, dude.
No,
You are
my
gonna have
calves-
the.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. They are ridiculous.
Yeah,
already.
I bet.
They carry around this amount of weight. Like,
Yeah.
my calves are fucking. They look like Arnold Schwarzenegger's calves.
Yeah.
I never need to do calf day.
No, that's.
But like, yeah. Other than that, I need to do everything else day.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I just it does kind of kill me a little bit because like I'm hearing this and I'm like, dude, that's it. That's like
Right.
something stopping you. And one of my podcasts, I think it was like the third one that I talked about. Dude, I had a lot of insecurities. I never
Yeah.
felt like I was worthy.
That's
I didn't
the
feel.
one I listened
Did
to on the
you-
way over.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
So like, you kind of have an idea. Like
Yeah.
I would have all these things that like a little lock, literally stopped me from going in because I was like, oh, someone could steal my stuff.
Yeah.
That's the kind of tricks that you play in your head.
Because
And
you're looking for a reason.
I mean, obviously, like I wanted to talk about kind of like your health a little bit.
Sure.
I mean, you brought it up. Is there anything that, I mean, I kind of asked you if there was anything that you're like working on. Is there anything that like motivates you right now?
I need more money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where my focus is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll
Just-
focus on other things at some point.
Just trying to like pick up on sales, trying to
I
like
just need
make your own
$10
big fucking facts, man. Hey, man, we all need that
Yeah.
shit.
No, I mean I don't know. Just getting stuff, some more stuff together with my job as well as just like, yeah. I just need to pick things up there. I guess.
Yeah. Is there any way you would want to start like your own business or anything
Yeah.
like that?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's like 2 or 3 happening. I have an LLC and some other stuff.
Okay.
But I don't know what it's gonna do yet.
Okay.
You know? But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like I can't just go in and work for someone else the rest of my life. I'm not willing to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So My job's fine. I like my job. Like, I'm not even talking shit on my job.
Right.
It's just like I'm working to make my boss's dream come true, not mine. And so I need people working to make my dream come true. Not, So, but but I mean, I've been wanting to get back into mini painting because that's the only artistic expression that I have. So that's gonna start again soon, and then other than that, I mean, with Benny, with a baby, that's just all it is, man. I mean, like, that's really what you want to do most of the time. You got to spend a ton of time with them, which is awesome. You know? So, when you have a kid, it definitely like ups. Everything becomes more regimented because you have this time between this time and this time is when she's napping, so you can do these things, and then between this time and this time she's sleeping, so you can do these things. Like, I can't play a game that doesn't have pause on it when she's awake.
Right. Yeah.
So if I can't pause the game, I can't play it. You know what I mean? Getting geared up to try to work on my weight again because I go through these ebbs and flows. Like, where I'm down here, I'm just like, I don't even care. I'm just fat, eat everything I want. Blah, 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 blah.
Motivation.
Yeah, it starts planning phase, and then maybe it only gets there, and then it goes back down. And then there's a couple of these like, and then it'll really start. So I feel like I'm really starting in one of those ramps where it's like, okay, I'm going to go back to the gym. I need to get my food in order. Yeah. But I need like all the other stressors in my life to chill out. That's where it's hard. It's like I can get derailed by work stress and stuff really easily. But that's not uncommon to me. That's normal. That's excuses. Most people's problems are the same things. Right. I mean, it's a reason more than an excuse, but it is what's happened. So, I don't know. I don't have big plans for anything. I need more money to have plans. Yeah. This is like not to take this into a financial podcast, but it's like I'm doing well, but I'm unhappy with the middle class thing. Like, absolutely, I need to have enough money to be free, and being free means not having to go to a job. Yeah. So that's where my focus has been on. Yeah. But I can't let that lose sight. I recognize the snowball effect that, like, if I lost all the weight, all those other things would benefit. All the other stuff would benefit from it, right? Yeah. Because I'd feel better, have more energy, be more confident, blah, blah, blah. Absolutely. Blah. So, I don't know. I'm always up and down. I'm always restless. If anyone who knows me knows that I'm never... Like, people made fun of me for having a million jobs when I was younger because I never stuck with one thing. I just jumped around. Like, I'm always trying stuff and moving and, like, so... Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. But
no, dude. I mean, fuck yeah, man. That's what I have to reply to that because, like, my only thing is, like, I would love to, like, go to the gym with you, man. I don't. Have you ever had like a workout part, like a dedicated?
Me and Dalton worked out for months.
Dedicated?
Months. Oh yeah.
What dropped it?
It was years ago now. I don't remember. Yeah. I don't remember actually if it was him or if it was me. We were like 6 months going like 3 times a week.
It's fucking
dedicated.
Young. Okay.
This little gym next to Marco's Pizza down on 74.
Yeah.
I have video. I have to show you. Me and him it's just me and him in the gym, and we're making fun of people screaming in the gym. So I have this video. I'll have to find. Bro. I have it on video. I'll have to get it. It was hilarious. Oh, but dude. Having the partner's good. Yeah, I'd be down. What gym do you go to?
Dude, I mean, I go to the one East Porta in Oakley, but I know that's East Porta.
East Porta. Okay.
Yeah. But I've been going to.
Is that a bigger chain?
It was like LA Fitness. It was LA Fitness before, and I think they got bought out or rebranded.
I've just heard that name.
Yeah, okay. East Porta. There's one in Kentucky. There's one in West Liberty or something like that, up north, like Westchester kind of thing.
Okay.
And then one in Oakley.
I've heard of it.
But no, man, I've been. I mean, obviously, I've been consistent, but like, I don't know because I haven't done it. I don't know what 3 days a week gets you. I know what 5 to 7 days a week gets you, you know, and consistently doing it for a year. Like, I mean, you saw me before. Like, I wouldn't say I was like fat, but I would definitely say I was like chubby. I would definitely
fat. Is that the word?
Probably the best.
You were normal. I've never. You were normal. I think normal's the word.
See, I wouldn't consider myself. See, that's funny. You would consider me normal.
Weight. Yeah.
But I mean, well, right now, how much weight do you think I am?
Oh, I'd never be able to guess the number.
Okay, fair enough.
Definitely bulked.
Fair enough.
That's visible. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know how old people's kids are. I'd be like, I don't know, they 10,
Right,
35.
I know, right, when
Like
you're
I
looking
never,
at-
like I don't know.
How old's your kid? 17. Fuck.
No shit. I
Yeah.
thought he was born 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
I don't know. What are you like 160? One.
No, I'm 200.
Oh, okay.
So I've
See,
always.
that's literally how off I'm bad at those numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've always been. Well, I've always got people surprised because I don't know what it is. I've always been a heavy kid.
Oh yeah.
Like even growing up, like I was always 20. Ooh. I was always like
Nice.
20, 30 pounds. Yeah.
It's
I
thinking
know.
about it.
I know. It's like,
Yeah.
20, 30 pounds like over the next kid. Like, and I
Oh,
always
okay.
felt like I was chubby, but I there's got to be like, I don't know if it's bone density. I don't know what it is. And Brandon told me he's been the same way. Like he's always like weighed
Yeah.
like 20 pounds
Well, I
heavier
think
than other
most people
people.
are surprised to find out I'm close to 400. So it's a similar.
Yeah,
Like I have wide shoulders, my bones are enormous. I am like a linebacker.
bro.
I'm not just like a skinny dude who's fat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that is a different body type. So it's like same thing. You know, there's reasons to be heavier
Right.
than just being whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, man. I would love to be able to throw around some weight, have
Yeah.
fun, kind of get some cardio in. You know, we need to get it.
E-sport.
Well-
you said it's an Oakley.
Yeah, and like I said, dude, I'll come to Planet Fit. Do you have a black card or do you just have the regular?
I don't even have a thing. I need to sign up for it.
Well, let's fucking go, dude. If you
Yeah,
get a
that's
black
fine.
card, you can get a guest, and I'll come.
Well,
Every
the guest
day.
is a regular. I looked
Oh,
it
really?
up. Yeah, they changed it.
Oh,
They have
well, that's
some
cool.
weird fucking. What is the infrared skin treatment?
Dude, I don't
What is
wanna-
that?
dude, their shit is wild.
What is it?
I think it's just I
You
think
just shoot your dick with lasers. Like I don't understand what they like. I don't understand. I thought it was like, oh, do they have a
fucking
cryo
dick
chamber?
enlargement. You just put it in front of these
Yeah.
lasers.
Yeah. I didn't. Well, because I saw it, I was like, oh, dude, do they have a cryo? I would love to try that.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was like it was called something like something treatment, and I was
Yeah.
I looked it up, and it was an infrared skin. I was like, what is this?
Is it
What
red
does it
light
do?
treatment? Do they have red light treatment?
Maybe.
I
Yeah,
well,
think
I
that's
know.
what it is. What does it do?
So I think red light is actually for your skin. I think it's supposed to help your skin. There's something
Do
about it.
what?
Look good? I don't
Okay.
fucking know, man. No, that's funny because I know if you have red light, it's supposed to like help you sleep like at certain
Huh.
times,
Huh.
but that doesn't seem like the reason you would use it.
Well,
There,
yeah.
have you seen
This
those
is
like
a chamber you stand in.
dude, there's like this mask that you can put on and it's just red light. And so it's supposed to do things to your skin that I don't know the technical like reason for it. I don't know the like
Huh.
benefits,
Okay.
but it's probably some, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, you know, you need to expose your skin to red light and then you'll like have the best
Min-max,
skin
yeah.
in the world and, you know, get buff and,
Yeah.
you know, like one of those optimizing your life kind of things. But
I'd go to the gym, but I need to have 10 more fucking minutes of my skin being red.
yeah.
Yeah.
And tanning beds. They have like tanning beds in those places.
Ugh, which
Well-
couldn't be less healthy.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
yeah, tanning is gross.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine if you do it. But I'm just saying, like, it's just
Well,
so
health-wise,
much-
I don't
yeah,
think it's good.
Horrific. Yeah,
No.
just go sit outside.
But it's weird to me that they add all those extra things in when it's like, dude,
yeah, they
we're a
got
gym.
massage
We're a
chairs.
gym, bro.
Yeah, do they still do the pizza? I hate that.
A pizza?
Yeah, every Friday there's free pizza. That's how it used to be. That's why I call it Planet Fatness, because
You're
like
fucking kidding
because
me.
when they came onto the scene,
Yeah.
Planet Fitness. I moved to where I'm like, fine, it's cheap, it's close, it does have the things I can need, but I hate the philosophy of it. I hate the philosophy of the lunk alarm, where you can't make noise while you lift,
Yeah.
right? Where an alarm comes off. Talk about shaming.
The lunk
Like,
alarm or whatever
yeah,
it is.
It's like, talk about shaming. Like I don't know, it's goofy. And then pizza, judgment-free zone, right? It's like, I mean, I do want to be judged, but I don't know. There's a thing where it's like, Planet Fitness is great for marketing because we're a fat country and it's appealing to fat people.
Yeah.
That's what it's for. Like, you can come here. There won't be some bodybuilder who cares about himself next to you making little noises. We'll kick him out and shame him.
Yeah.
Here's some pizza.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, whatever, dude. There's something about it that I just go, eh. Or I could spend 120 and go to Planet Fitness and get my dick lasered. So it's like either one. That's fine with me. Like, I don't. Yeah.
That should be a
That's
fucking.
one of the,
That should be a marketing slogan.
yeah.
Pay $120 to get your dick lasered.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But like, you know, Planet Fitness is where you start.
Right.
Racquetball club's where you end up.
Yeah.
Right. Or not to-
I know what you're
commercial for
saying.
the
I know what you're
racquetball
saying.
club.
Yes.
You say, okay, now I'm ready to spend more money because I'm really getting serious about this. Where it's like, there was a guy he works at Kroger's. He's a bald dude.
Yeah.
And I've seen him because I go to Kroger's. I've seen him. He stocks shelves.
Yeah.
And I watched over 3 years, and I recognized him at a Beach Mall Racquetball Club.
No
He's
shit.
fucking huge now.
Yeah.
But I
Just
saw him
yoked.
when he was skinny, right? And so he just consistently went to. I saw him once, and I was like, "Hey, dude, I just want to let you know, man. I've seen you at the racquetball club. Like, good job.
Yeah.
Like, you're fucking
Yoked.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's enormous." But he like we started at the same time. I quit. I remained fat. Now he's ripped. That's what happens.
Yeah.
You know. But it was funny, like, because I recognized him there because very unique looking. You won't not spot him.
I got you.
But yeah, I watched that dude like get huge. And I was like, huh.
That's what
Yeah,
consistency
that's what happens
brings,
when you just
man.
do it.
Yeah. No, and it's tough, dude. I mean, because like you were saying, like there's a lot of stresses in everyday life that like can really derail that. Like you can have all the motivation in the world, but like sometimes, you know,
Yep.
life fucking rears its head at you, and like then all of a sudden you have work trauma or whatever it may be, you know, and obviously you have to take care of a kid, you have to be there for your wife, those
Sure.
kind of things. Like it is definitely a tool, but I think in the grand scheme of things, you have to be like your best self. And I think like being your best self is like conquering some of those, I hate to say like demons, but like in a way conquering some of the hardest shit. Like
Sure.
in the nicest way, your hardest journey is probably your weight loss journey. Like truthfully, it's something it sounds like you've
100%.
battled your entire life.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's the number one battle of my entire life for sure, without question. But like again, I'm not giving up and saying, you know what, the society's right. I'm perfect the way I am, and anyone who criticizes me, it's because they're a bigot. You know what I mean? No, I'm fat. It's unacceptable, and I'll never accept it.
Well, we'll get fucking lean.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get there.
That'd be cool. Get some skin removal, because there's no way I'm going to do all that and not be a flying squirrel. Fuck that.
That's what you were referring to as flying squirrel. Oh my god! When you said that earlier, I was like, "What do you mean?" But brother, okay.
Sorry to make fun of people who have the excess skin. Like, but it's just like when I see that, I'm like, oof, no, I'll do the surgery.
No, I mean it makes sense.
Yeah. But that is too a distraction because I'm focusing on something that's not even remotely happened.
Right, like get in that situation first. Like let's see that six pack after, you know, I hear you, man.
But I just like making the flying squirrel joke. People who are overweight who've lost all the weight and have loose skin are probably gonna be super offended by that comment. But I'm referring to myself.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Well, I appreciate your honesty, man, and appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's fun.
Where can people find you?
Nowhere, because I don't do shit.
Sage and Cynical, go subscribe to it.
There hasn't been videos in weeks, and there probably won't be for weeks more. I might start doing it again. But I got to really revamp and figure out. The studio's been torn down. Like, there's other stuff going on.
Well, again,
we'll figure it out.
Yep, absolutely. That's something you can figure out, and when you do, it's a good podcast, man. And
thanks, dude.
I do trust you.
Doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Good production, all of it. And
thank you.
I appreciate it. But
yeah, man.
Anyways,
thanks for having me on, dude.
Of course, always a pleasure.
We'll do it again.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
See ya.
Peace.